Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. It is I, God Empress Jessie Milestone, and today we are going to address a Patreon suggestion from good old Charles Anderson, one of my wonderful patrons. Charles, from what I understand, has been a little sick. He was very sick over the weekend. So, guys, send your best wishes to Charles and hope for a speedy recovery. Hopefully this video will help brighten your day, and hopefully you're already on that positive track. Anyway, Charles was asking if I had any experiences with teachers that made me quit their class or failed me on purpose or something like that, and he shared a few examples from his own college experience. I don't actually have any from college. I chose my college very specifically for its educational structure, and it was very much not the kind of environment that fostered problematic teachers. My high school, on the other hand, full of problematic teachers. Now, this is something I've discovered about teachers, especially at the high school level, and yes, at the college level, but I mean more usually if it's the college level, I find it to be more the case at larger institutions. I don't know, I only went to one school, so I only can go by hearsay, but I noticed this very much at the high school level, is that teachers a lot of times just don't have a healthy relationship with their own authority. I went to a school where it was supposed to be a very, very good, it's supposed to be like one of the top 200 public schools in the country or something, which really says something about our public education because it was terrible. But one thing I encountered rather frequently is a lot of teachers that weren't willing to accept me as somebody who wasn't everybody else. You know, I didn't have conventional high school priorities. It wasn't all about, you know, making the sports team and getting drunk on the weekend with my friends and living it up because I'm in high school and being popular and keeping up with the latest trends and knowing all the latest music. And oh my goodness, those are massive pit stains. You're welcome, internet. I was just out in the world where it was hot and sweaty, and my deodorant is apparently doing nothing to combat that. But anyway, so yeah, those are not my priorities. My priorities were thinking about the world and the way it was and the way I wanted to make it better and the things I wanted to do and how to become the best version of myself possible and how effing bored I was in school all the time because I knew most stuff they were already trying to teach me. I never had a problem with book learning. That was something that always came very easily, very naturally to me. So I had teachers who hated that. For example, I was in an accelerated math program since I was 11, and they did something wonky with our curriculum. So what it ended up was, but when I hit 9th grade, I was actually in a normal honors math class. My fellow friends whom I'd shared classes with for the past several years, because we were all in this very small group of accelerated math together, they put us double ahead one year and so pulled us back the next year, so we were just in a normal honors geometry class. And let me tell you, that was the most painfully boring thing I've ever experienced. And I went to the teacher with my friend and we said, hey, we're a little bit, you know, we feel like we've kind of are on top of this. Is there any way we can work ahead? Is there any way you can work ahead and maybe, you know, have a little more independent time in class? Like I can study ahead in my notebook while you're teaching the lesson, or you know, I can read or something. God, nope. She got very affronted by this. She offered to give us more problems, more work. We could have more work. No, more work is for people who need help, not people who got this already. So and it was stuff. I'd fall asleep in her class sometimes because it was boring, or read in her class. And she'd always try to like call me out, you know? She'd always call on me when she thought I wasn't paying attention. I'd look up, I'd look at the board for about 5 seconds, get the answer right. She hated that. It pissed her off to no end. But it's like, dude, work with me, you know? It's not an affront to your teaching that you happen to have a handful of somewhat gifted students in your class. You should be excited about them. You should be excited for the opportunity to work with them and leave a positive impression on them instead of just being awful. But that was a lot of my experiences. For speaking of math, I decided, in spite of being good at it, I was never a big fan of it. It was never a priority for me. It's never something I liked. So when I started doing the International Baccalaureate program, which was a really awesome opportunity my high school did offer us in 11th and 12th grade, I decided I'm going to do dumb person math. I'm going to do just super simple math and just, you know, tap out. Again, just use that extra time to like focus on other things and forget hard math. I don't need that stuff. So I went into the super simple math track for that. There were 3. There was like super basic math. There was the thing that was the sort of equivalent of AB Calc, and the thing that was sort of equivalent of BC Calc. And I should have been in the BC Calc one, but I was like, screw that. So I went to this first one. This teacher, oh my God. There was one time we came into class, you know, the bell rings, you walk into class, we're chatting, or, you know, having a good time, we're taking our seats, we're being respectful, but we're just talking when we come in the room. She flipped out at us, like, oh my God, how dare you talk when you walk into my room. Made us all walk out and walk in single file, and we're like, we're 17 years old, thank you very much. Walk in single file quietly. she would get so mad at me anytime I wasn't paying. She would go off on me if I wasn't paying attention. Even just like doodling in my notebook, if I was writing, reading, anything other than paying attention to her, she went off on me. So I was like, well, this is a waste. The whole reason I put myself in this class is so I could ignore the teacher and do my own thing. And my teacher's taking it as a personal offense that I don't need to hear every goddamn word she says. So I decided around the end of that quarter, I was like, I'm going to super smart math. Screw this. I'm going to go where I belong. I'm going to super smart math. And the school was like, oh no, you can't do that. You've missed too much time already. So my parents were like, excuse me, my daughter will get the education she has requested. Through many, many talks, what they finally decided, they're like, all right, you can go into the class. You're starting in the second quarter. You have to make up all of the work from the first quarter. And that's you. You're going to teach yourself the first quarter of this, which is basically advanced trig, I think. You're going to teach yourself the first quarter. You're going to take all of the tests and while you're learning the second quarter. So I did that. I taught myself advanced mathematics, and on the quarter I taught myself, I managed to C, and while being taught another quarter that I got an A for, or a B, something like that. Anyway, the point is, I did pretty all right teaching myself advanced mathematics. Thank you very much, school. But no matter, it was not my only troubles. My most exciting story, because of course, if we're talking about my exciting problematic teachers, we've got to talk about the desk throwing incident, the immortal desk throwing incident. I had a teacher who had very many issues with authority. My English teacher in 11th grade, to the point where like this one guy in my class, she just hated him. I don't know why, but she hated him. We were good friends, and I would help him with his papers. I was getting A's on all my papers. I would help him with his papers. I would proofread them. I'd be like, this is a good, solid paper. And he'd get like a C or a D on it. I was like, are you ridiculous? Are you crazy? This is ridiculous. You're just actively picking on the student you're being totally arbitrary for no reason. Speaking of arbitrary for no reason. So I was a special kid. I was really into Lord of the Rings, like super into it. And I had like my Elvish name, so I wrote my name in Elvish. And I always I trained my teachers very well. So at the beginning of the year, I wrote my name in English and I wrote it in Elvish right underneath it. Very, very clear. English, Elvish, English, Elvish, English, Elvish. Obviously, this is my paper. No problems, right? So eventually when I stopped writing the English name, my teachers were like, got it. She wrote her name on it. This is Jessie, how Jessie writes her name, because she's special. We'll indulge this weird child, her little weirdities. So we're doing a pop quiz in English, and I aced it, and I wrote, this is the first time I wrote my name in just Elvish on the top of the paper. So when we get the pop quizzes back, she hands them out. She hands mine directly to me. She obviously had no problem discerning whose paper was whose, but she wrote 5 out of 5 equals 0 out of 5, no name. I'm like, what? Again, 17 years old, and you think that it is appropriate to equate someone who did all the work with someone who did none of the work because she wrote her name in not English. Now, if I was a little more advanced as a species, I would have made this a huge conversation about xenophobia, but I was not that ahead of myself yet. But I went to talk to her about this, and I was like, hey, what? And she was just like, nope, you didn't write your name. And I was like, but I did, it's right there. Nope, that's not your name. Like, yeah, it is, that's my identity. I don't think that you can, well, obviously there's something bigger problem. Just this whole belligerent stuff about me and my identity and who the fuck do I think I am kind of thing. When it's like, okay, I don't know what your problem is. I identified myself with my name on my paper. I clearly did the work. I don't understand what the issue is. She kept being belligerent and awful, and I finally got to the point where I said, look, and this, by the way, paraphrasing from Marla Singer from Fight Club, anybody who thinks it's acceptable to give a kid a 0 out of 5 for not putting their name on their quiz has deeply rooted psychological issues for which they should seek help immediately. She didn't like that. She didn't like that, so she told me I need to get out of her classroom because she knows herself, and if I don't leave, she's going to do something inappropriate. So now she's threatening a 17-year-old. Wow, what a trip. So I go, I'm like scared at this point. I go to get my backpack, which is full of these straps. And it was the weird, the desk chair thing. So you get in the desk and it's attached to the chair. So a strap is caught in between that pole there, and I'm like yanking on my backpack, and it's not coming up while this teacher's threatening me. And so I'm like, I freak out, and I just kind of chuck the desk. So it lets go of my backpack and take my backpack and go, at which point she stands up and she's freaking out. She's like, out! Get out! Get out! Ah! Making a horrifying face to that ilk. So anyway, I get called in the principal's office, etc., etc. She tells this wonderful story about how, oh, no, I just require that all my students come talk to me the very first time this happens, and I give them all their points back. Bullshit. Bullshit. And then she wrote this thing on how she misquoted me, which was terrible. But then when she told me to leave, I very calmly lifted this desk and threw it at her and smiled. And then lingered in the doorway until she threatened to call security. What a tale. What a tale. Anyway, needless to say, my school did not believe a word of that, but I was still suspended for 3 days because apparently bodily handling furniture comes with a mandatory 3-day suspension. But anyway, they were really chill about that. They let me make up my work. That was immortalized as the desk throwing incident. My Latin teacher never let me forget that. He joked about that for the next 2 years, and that teacher was too afraid of me to do anything but give me A's for the rest of the year, so that was great. It was great. It was good fun. Anyway, so that was my, the point is that I've had the terrible teachers, and in the most part, my experiences with teachers are teachers, again, who have too much authority, they want to lord it over you, and they don't want to accept that you might have something to offer this world that's different from what they have to offer. So, yeah, Charles, I feel ya. It sucks. Teachers are terrible. Do you guys have any horrible teacher experiences? Please recount them. And while you're thinking of those and typing them in the comments below, I received 3 packages today. Oh, which I almost forgot. At the beginning, I was supposed to do this at the beginning, but I'll do it right now because it's a good time to do it anyway. Matthew McDade is the MVP of Friday's live stream. He is the MVP. He contributed many wonderful topics. He could, most importantly, beyond the super chats, beyond the contributions, beyond just being there, he contributed pictures of a corgi. So if you were lucky enough to be on the stream, I showed the adorable pictures of his corgi, with the little puppies too. It was wonderful. So for corgis, Matthew McDade, you are the super chat MVP. But enough on that. I actually don't need the knife for this first one. We have some packages that we are going to take a look at. 3 to be exact. I don't actually know. Well, I know who one of them is from. Speaking of Matthew McDade, but then we'll get to that. We'll save that one for. Aww. Okay, guys, whoever sends me these things, make sure you take ownership of them. Either send me a private message or write it in the chat, because since if you're ordering from a place, I don't actually see who sent this. But guys, look, it's little Star Wars mice for my kiddos. It's Star Wars toys for my kiddos. I do have a couple Star Wars toys already. I don't have any Star Wars mice, so this will just add to my mouse toy collection. This is very exciting. I'm very, very excited about my little R2 mouse and my 3PO mouse. Oh my goodness. Thank you to whoever that was. That's amazing. Now, what's in the box? I don't know. I hope it's Gwyneth Paltrow's severed head. If it's not, I'm going to be a little disappointed. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to be really happy if it's not a severed head. But let's find out. Guys, if you want to send me stuff too, I will open them. I will show them off on the channel. That's 14320 Ventura Boulevard, Suite 163. Sherman Oaks, California, 91423. That is the Mindless Entertainment business address. I think it's in the description somewhere down below. If not, it's also in the About section for my channel. So you can find it and send me cool stuff that I will show off on air. Oh my goodness. We've got so much excitement happening here. I don't even know where to begin. All right, Star Wars socks. Because Star Wars is the best, and socks are the best. Looks like we got a Stormtrooper, R2's got Chewbacca in there, and Darth Vader. Awesome. You guys, like, it's not even my birthday, but it feels. Oh man, I think I have a Halloween costume. Somebody came through on the Halloween costume request. So what have we got? We have. It appears that we have. Oh no, oh man, it's a dress! We have a Captain America dress complete with shield. Sorry about the interruption, people. My phone is having some issues today. But, where were we? We were at Lady Captain America! I'm very excited about this. I'm super excited about this. Thank you, whoever, mysterious benefactor. Again, claim yourselves! I know a couple of you said you were sending things, so claim yourselves so you can receive appropriate thanks from the God Empress. And one final thing, and I'm fairly certain this one comes from Matthew McDade, the aforementioned MVP of the live stream. It's a big box. It's a big old box. Let's find out what's in it. Oof. Alrighty. Blam-a-llama. It's in a really pretty bag. Look at that. It's an incredibly attractive gift bag. Amazon was probably like, how do I make a gift bag of this caliber? Woo! Lightsabers! Lightsabers! Pew, 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 pew. That's awesome. It says try me, but they apparently don't want to be tried. That's okay. I'm very excited to play with these. Thank you, Matthew McDade. I have lightsabers now. You guys are all amazing. The God Empress appreciates your tribute and appreciates your you-ness, appreciates everything about you all. whether or not you send me things is immaterial. I still appreciate you. I just really like this bag too. I think my cats are going to enjoy this bag. Stay tuned for a video of my cats playing inside this bag. Whee! Alright. That's all. I'll be back with more exciting videos this week. Some of them will be taking place in Philly because I traveled to Philly for a weekend. Thus kicks off my absurdly insane travel schedule for October and November. So we'll try to post as regularly as possible. Bear with me if I don't. Make sure you're subscribed and you have the notification bell going so you always know when I post a new video. Make sure you like things. Make sure you share them. Let's get to a bajillion subscribers, people. But once we get to 25, I'll explain the couch. So that's important. Also, the Newaygo County Comic-Con is taking place on October 20th. That's very, very soon in Fremont, Michigan. So make sure you get your tickets and come check out me and Ivan hanging out at the Newaygo County Comic-Con on October 20th. God, I officially have no energy left. Whew. Why is it so much work to take things out of boxes? I don't know. But that's life. Until next time. Bye, guys.